Ladies and gentlemen, what a great Navy day we have ahead of us here. On behalf of the LS Industry Team, Lockheed Martin, Fincantieri, Marinette Marine, and Gibbs & Cox, I am privileged to welcome you to the christening and launch of our nation's 13th littoral combat ship, the future USS Wichita. It's a very proud day for all the members of this team, and I want to thank you all for being here to join and celebrate with us. Today, I have the honor to represent the industry team that made this incredible occasion possible. The Freedom Variant LCS, the team is a partnership between hundreds of suppliers across the United States and 6 countries and supports more than 12,750 jobs. The power of this industry team stands behind the Navy and the crews that will sail upon these ships. Much of the Wichita crew is hard at work training. However, we are fortunate to have some current Wichita crew members here today. Commander Bush, will you and the representatives of LCS Crew 115 and the LCS Crew 110 please stand? We are honored to be building Wichita and take great pride in the fact you and your shipmates will soon use this ship and other Freedom Variant ships to represent the interest of the United States where and when needed. On behalf of the entire team, we thank you for your service and joining us today.
Honored guests, ladies, gentlemen, with great pleasure, I welcome you on behalf of Fincantieri to our shipyard for the launching of the future USS Wichita. It's a privilege for Fincantieri, myself, my family, to be part of this ceremony, and more importantly, to have been honored and trusted to build these ships for the world's most successful and demanding Navy. Today, we pay homage to our sponsor, Mrs. Kate Lehrer, and to the great city of Wichita. Wichita, the city, is a clear testament to what wise investors and innovators can achieve. You know, when oil was discovered in the early 1900s, the former trading post went through a boom like many other towns. But what made the difference were the investments in infrastructures and facilities, the drive to improve and innovate that attracted talented people and a qualified workforce to the city. The combination of these factors turned, in the words of our sponsors, best intentions into reality and built the basis for what would then become the air capital city of the world and more. So Wichita, the ship, confirms that the will to invest, improve, and innovate is the key to long-term sustainable success. It is the 7th ship we are building in the Littoral Combat Ship series for the U.S. Navy. It consolidates the role of Marinette in the National Shipbuilding Industrial Base and testifies the commitment of Fincantieri, the largest shipbuilder in the West, to serve and support the Navy of the United States, the world's premier maritime nation. We are immensely grateful for the trust that the Navy continues to put in Fincantieri, and we fully understand that those who receive our products are more than customers, they are our partners. How do we plan to repay this trust? Well, this is no secret. You know, you heard it before. You know, we just want to implement our 3 I's recipe of investing, improving, innovating. So investing has recently taken the form of the acquisition of a former Palmer Johnson facility in Sturgeon Bay, completed this past May. This investment has expanded the footprint of Marinette's sister shipyard, Bay Shipbuilding, to increase its production capacity and its ability to support the LCS program, amongst other things. Improving means launching Wichita with more pipes, more cables, more valves installed, and more work completed than any other LCS to date. And doing this with 15%, 1/5, less hours than for LCS 9 Little Rock, which sat on those cradles out there just a little over a year ago. So innovating is, amongst other initiatives, introducing new insulation technologies to increase efficiencies and a new piping technology to reduce maintenance costs. And many more things are coming, thanks also to the help of our industry partners. The results of these efforts are visible. They're very tangible. About 2,000 people here, including over 1,000 new jobs, thousands more around the country, almost 900 suppliers nationwide, all of us working together to achieve these impressive results. Like for the city of Wichita, a huge transformation has taken place in Marinette. From small shipyard to industrial powerhouse, which has already delivered 4 ships, has 2 more under testing, 4 under construction, and 3 in a long-term procurement stage. But, as the history of Wichita is also teaching us, this must be a starting point for the future. And the future is the continuation of the LCS program and its evolution into frigate. Today we, Fincantieri, stand with our partners, Lockheed Martin, Gibson Cox, many others, with our workers and the communities that support us to take this program forward, and we do it in a way that best meets the needs of the nation for today and tomorrow. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Joe. And I can't tell you how honored I am to share the podium with such amazing people today. So thank you all for being on the podium with us. And thanks to all of you for joining us for this very exciting event. I also want to say a very special thank you to all the men and women who serve our country and defend our freedom. I am confident as is evident, that I can speak for all of us when I say that your service and sacrifice is truly an inspiration. I'm honored and privileged to share this moment with you today. It is an exciting day for Lockheed Martin and the cyber ships and advanced technologies business. Right outside this building stands the future USS Wichita, the 7th Freedom Variant Littoral Combat Ship, and it is an impressive sight. I am inspired by the possibility of this moment. An unknown author wrote, "When the world presents great risks and undetermined threats, in order to ensure the victory, we must look to what is possible." Well, ladies and gentlemen, the physical manifestation of possibilities and hard work is before us here today. That ship represents new possibilities for the United States Navy. The future USS Wichita is about the triumph of vision and the embodiment of potential, and not just the potential energy we will see realized as LCS 13 enters into the water for the first time, impressive as that will be. Here, I see the capabilities that the future USS Wichita will bring to bear for the United States Navy and the nation as a whole. This is a fast ship. This is an agile ship. This is a lethal ship. It is a ship that has been uniquely designed to serve its very specific purpose and to counteract the threats that are all too relevant to the world today. Because of this, the future USS Wichita will play an important part on the world stage, protecting American interests and maintaining our global security. So again, I see what is possible on display: the lives saved, the missions completed, the threats contained. Close to shore or in blue waters, this ship will serve the men and women who serve upon it. And yes, the possibilities of the crews who are to sail upon the future USS Wichita. Team Freedom has built a fast, agile, and lethal ship, but it is the crew that will bring this ship to life in the future and fill it with its enormous power. The men and women of the United States Navy are the envy of the world for their skills, for their abilities, and for the tremendous assets at their command. These men and women will take this ship into perilous waters. As the U.S. Navy's industrial partner, we are driven by the protection of the people who will serve on this ship and the support of the mission that these sailors will execute. This ship also represents the possibility of engineering and manufacturing. I thank all of the people of Team Freedom, particularly the men and women of Lockheed Martin, Fincantieri Marinette Marine, Gibbs and Cox, and all of the suppliers who will help bring this ship to its completion. There are more than 10,000 people across 900 companies in 43 states who have worked together to bring us to this moment. The Freedom Class LCS program has redefined what is possible for Navy design and shipbuilding. In these terms, it's fitting that this LCS bears the name Wichita. Wichita was a city founded on the realization of American possibility. In our nation's westward expansion, Wichita was one of the first frontiers. It remains the crossroads of America, and while Mayor, the Arkansas River has not made Wichita a maritime capital, it was what first made Wichita into a giant of commerce. This will be the third U.S. Navy ship named Wichita, and it's easy to see why it's an appealing choice for a name. Wichita is a city that helped make an impossible dream real, a city that realizes the possibilities of American drive and innovation. And finally, to you, Kate. It has been my absolute pleasure meeting you and spending time with you yesterday, with you and your incredibly wonderful family. And I'm certain that your spirit, heart, and ethos will live in Wichita for its entire life. Thank you so much, everyone, again, for coming and for celebrating the people who sponsored, designed, built, and will operate this great ship. The possibilities represented here are awe-inspiring. The reality will surely be breathtaking. It is a great Navy day, and the launch will be an amazing sight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe North, for that kind introduction. Senator Baldwin, Congressman Ribble, Secretary Stackley, my fellow flag officers, honored guest, prospective Executive Officer Wichita, Commander Bush, friends from Wichita, ladies and gentlemen, and especially to the Lair family, led by Jim and Kate. Good morning, and thank you for being here on a lovely fall day in Wisconsin. My wife Beth is from the Green Bay area, actually from Bayport, where she was a junior prom queen, and remembers fondly living here. And she told me, you have to come see Green Bay again in a different season. I was here a year and 4 months ago in the summer, and it was gorgeous, and the fall is even just as lovely. I just need to keep coming back here again because we keep building ships here, and so I think that'll be on my recipe. I'll try coming in the wintertime, and we'll see. I may have to put an overcoat on to be here for this event, but I've talked with Jan about it, and it looks like it'll work out well. It's a great pleasure to be back in the Menominee area and celebrate the beginning of not this impressive ship, but also to honor the city of Wichita and its remarkable history of aviation excellence. Also to remember the Lear's family of tireless service to this great country and the outstanding shipbuilding team and their legacy of construction. Seeing the teamwork, pride, and the love of shipbuilding in the faces of everyone on this yard remains inspiring to me and to all of our Navy. The precision, care, and time put into the design and construction of the ship shows the commitment of Fincantieri Marinette Marine, Lockheed Martin, Gibbs and Cox, and all the people, especially the people here and on the yard, that touched this ship, that welded on this ship, that worked on this ship, that installed their love and care of construction of this ship, and has brought this ship to this point. On behalf of Admiral John Richardson, our Chief of Naval Operation, I would like to thank all of you here all of us who are here, but also those who could not be here today with us, who helped bring Wichita to this point. Today's event is one of the reasons why I love the Navy. It's wonderful, the Navy, and its wonderful and historic ceremonies, and I think many of you do too. That we take a few moments to feel the ebb and flow of naval tradition that is bound up in our busy days. It gives us something to hold on to and to cherish, and to make us feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves, and that we are making America a little bit better every day. Their ceremony will cement the sponsor, the builder, the Navy, and the crew, and the spirit of the namesake city into a special bond that will last for the life of the ship. This is a special dance of life we have in the Navy that is special to us in the Navy and to our builders and our sponsors. The christening is the beginning of a ship's life. I know and understand this ceremony. I was a new construction engineer officer on the USS Miami back in 1987 and 1991 when we built that submarine and christened it Electric Boat. The memory is as clear as it had been yesterday. This ceremony will induce pride and ownership of the crew in this great ship. For everyone in the audience, especially the sponsor and the crew, when you see thousands of tons of ship suddenly move before you, you will be moved. There is nothing like it. There will be tears of excitement and joy. It is an extremely profound event. Also important is this will be the beginning of the Wichita Way. on how they will learn to run, love, and take care of their ship. And their sponsor, Kate Lair, will be with them every step of the way. We need the Wichita, and we need her way at sea as soon as possible. Our LCS and the fleet continue to meet the needs of our combatant commanders. Recently, USS Fort Worth, LCS-3, built right here on this yard, operated side by side with valued Southeast Asia and South Asia partners during 8 theater cooperation exercises. She also skillfully executed freedom of navigation and presence operations in the South China Sea. That ship was unafraid and cut through the Great Wall of Sand repeatedly that China continues to build down there, demonstrating American resolve in the South China Sea and in the Western Pacific. She also supported the search and recovery for Air Asia Flight 8501 on very short notice. The flexibility of the hull design, the wonderful shallow draft, the modern electronics on board, and the crew made her the perfect platform for U.S. Pacific Command, the Navy, working through Mobile Diving and Salvage Unit 1 to assist our friends in Indonesia to find the parts of the airplane and the recorders to help bring closure to many of the families in Indonesia and the families in Southeast Asia. For that mission, she was better suited than an 8,000-ton guided missile destroyer. She then proceeded north to the Korean Peninsula to take part in what's called Full Eagle, a massive exercise with her South Korean allies, where she again distinguished herself. Her ability to move swiftly along the rocky coasts and shallow waters of Korea as she operated with Korean and U.S. Navy SEALs was proudly put on display and demonstrated tremendous will to our South Korean allies and put North Korea on notice. The U.S. Navy remains a key facilitator of peace in the Western Pacific. These warships will play a vital role in our Navy's core function of controlling the seas. In 2030, 6 out of every 10 warships our nation employs forward will be an LCS or frigate follow-on design. The fleet commander of 2030 will face a multitude of challenges while operating forward, and Wichita will be a key element of that future adaptive force packaging and surface action groups. I leave you 2 quotes from my plea here at the Naval Academy. The first is about our Navy seen through the eyes of an Army general. Quote, "It follows then as certain as night succeeds day that without a decisive naval force we can do nothing definitive, and with it everything honorable and glorious." President George Washington, commander of the Independent Army, or the United States Army. The second is a charge to this crew of the Wichita. "This ship is built to fight. You better know how." From Admiral Arleigh Burke. Thank you, and may God bless Wichita, her captains, her crew, her sponsor, our Navy, and our nation. And may God watch over our 100,000 sailors deployed right now and our 50,000 Marines who are underway as we speak, operating in foreign countries, on the waters around the world, keeping us safe here to enjoy a beautiful day in Wisconsin. Thank you.
Thank you. What an honor as mayor of the now 46th largest city in the United States to be here representing our city and our citizens in such a terrific fashion. I can tell you in my short time as mayor, I've given over 200 speeches, none more honorable and as exciting as I'm doing here today. So I thank you, all of you, that made this day possible for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For almost 80 years, the USS Wichita has been our tie and our claim to the ocean, charging through the sea, bearing our name and legacy along with it. I'm truly blessed to be here in office during this time of christening the next USS Wichita. I know Wichita will feel a strong bond to this ship. Wichita is known for its enterprising spirit, one of hard work and determination. We're proud of our role in helping conquer the skies as the air capital of the world, and it's my wish that the USS Wichita will now go forth to help bring peace and freedom to the seas. I'm thrilled to continue to grow our relationship with the Navy and the dedicated individuals who serve our country. During the unveiling of the crest, I expressed my heartfelt wishes that the crew and everyone who had a hand in creating the USS Wichita understand that Wichita is now your home too. You are always welcome in Wichita, and our shores are always open to you. I can now return home and talk about the great Americans that helped build this awesome ship, the brave crew willing to sail into harm's way if necessary, and the best sponsor and family on the planet. May God bless us all.
Well, today, we pause from the toil of shipbuilding to celebrate our Navy, our nation, the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, Kansas, and of course, our namesake city, Wichita. I'm going to start by welcoming our sponsor, Mrs. Kate Lehrer, and your beautiful family. Grace, decency, integrity, public service. You represent all that is good in America. And today you join our Navy family, and we are all the better for it. Senator Baldwin, Congressman Ribble, your strong voices in our Congress have made ours a stronger Navy. When you return to our nation's capital, inspired by these events in your shipyard, please be sure to deliver this simple message to your colleagues. We need more ships. Mayor Longwell, thank you for representing the great people of Wichita. Back home in Kansas, amidst those endless fields, those amber waves of grain, truly the breadbasket of the world, you enjoy 4 beautiful seasons. But sir, you're not in Kansas anymore. And here in Wisconsin, they enjoy only 1 season. They call it football season. And this weekend, sir, like all of us here today, you are a Packers fan. And to our many veterans here today, World War II veteran Bertram Miller, recognized for his service on board the heavy cruiser USS Wichita, and Vietnam veteran David Verridge, who served on board the replenishment oiler USS Wichita. You're strong links in that long, unbroken chain of generation upon generation of Americans who have gone down to the sea in ships in service to our country. You honor us by your presence today. And to the officers and crew who proudly call yourselves the Wichita, you are the next link, the next strong link in that long, unbroken chain. You come to this shipyard from every corner of the country, from all walks of life, to put Wichita to sea. You are our nation's treasure, and today we celebrate your resolve, your patriotism, your seamanship. And in the years ahead, as you unfurl your flag and set sail from here in the heartland, you will sail in harm's way. You will be tested on distant seas. You will be called to defend our way of life. So be ready. Be ready when you are called. And to the men and women of Fincantieri Marinette Marine, and to our naval supervisors and program team, together you laid her keel, you landed her engines, erected her hull, pulled and hooked her cable, installed and tested her pipe and machinery, lit off her electronics, aligned her shafts. And today, as we launch the newest ship in our Navy, as we begin a new chapter in our American story, we also celebrate your resolve, your patriotism, your workmanship. For your great industrial might, it is our great military might. And tomorrow, as you begin to labor, to finish your work, as you labor to put Wichita to sea, to join her sister ships, Freedom, Fort Worth, Milwaukee, Detroit, Little Rock, Sioux City. Ships built by your hands. Be mindful that our sons and daughters who sail upon your ships, they will sail in harm's way. They will be tested on distant seas as they defend our way of life. So build well, Marinette, build well. Build as though the blessings of our liberty depend upon it, for rest assured, they do. Former President and favorite son of Kansas, Dwight Eisenhower, in his time of crisis, warned America that history does not long entrust the care of freedom to the weak or to the timid. Well, as we enjoy this occasion this day, whether you are from Wichita, Kansas, or Marinette, Wisconsin, or Menominee, Michigan, as we sit here today in the heartland, 1,000 miles from the sea, it remains true, even here, 1,000 miles from the sea, that we are a maritime nation. And ever mindful of President Eisenhower's warning, today, more than 100 Navy ships and near 100,000 sailors and Marines from the Baltic Sea to the Eastern Mediterranean, from the Persian Gulf to the Indian Ocean, from the South China Sea to the Sea of Japan, stand watch on those distant seas, entrusted with the care of our freedom. And we, here at home, here in the heartland, shipbuilders, sailors, senators, and citizens, together, as we ready Wichita to join the fleet, to take on the watch, we embark on writing the next chapter of our American story. The next chapter in the history of freedom. The next chapter on the blessings of our liberty. So Godspeed, Wichita. God bless the men and women who build her. God bless the crew who give her strength, her sponsor who gives her grace, and God bless these United States of America. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. I can't tell you what a delight it is to be back here at this shipyard and join all of you for the christening and launch of the future USS Wichita. And I want to offer a warm Wisconsin welcome to Jeff Longwell, the mayor of Wichita, for coming to join us today. Now, Wichita is about as far from open ocean as you can get in the United States. But you shouldn't let that geography give you the mistaken impression that Jeff's city doesn't have a rich naval history. As you've heard, the first USS Wichita was commissioned into the U.S. Navy in 1939 and served in both the Atlantic and Pacific theaters during World War II. That Wichita and her crew were instrumental in deterring and defeating America's adversaries, protecting our allies, and making the world safe for democracy. And while we live in much different times today, that's still the mission of today's Navy. I am confident that the future USS Wichita will honor the many contributions of her predecessor and serve with distinction. Now, serving with distinction is also how I would describe the person who invited me here to speak today, my friend, Navy Secretary Ray Mabus. This may be the last LCS launch of Secretary Mabus's tenure, and as the longest-serving Navy Secretary since the First World War, he's overseen quite a few. And I just wanted to take a moment to let everyone know how thankful I am to him for his strong partnership that we've built for the LCS program and for the skilled workers of the state of Wisconsin and Michigan. Secretary Mabus has always been a big believer in Great Lakes shipbuilding, and I'm thrilled that all of you here today have consistently proven him right. Secretary Mabus has strengthened America's Navy in so many ways. He led positive personnel transformation by removing discriminatory policies, opening combat jobs to women, and improving the health and well-being of our service members, including through better family policies like longer parental leave. The Navy has also become a much stronger force under his watch. Ship counts are up, and the fleet, as illustrated by the LCS, is the most technologically advanced and most capable the world has ever known. The Navy could not have been a better leader, and Wisconsin a better friend. We couldn't have had a better leader or friend than Ray Mabus, and I am so incredibly grateful for that. I also want to give a special welcome and thanks to Kate Lehrer, our ship sponsor, and her family, including her husband Jim Lehrer, a Wichita native and Marine. It is truly an honor to join all of you here today as this ship is christened and launched, moving forward to defend the freedoms that we all cherish, carrying the Made in Wisconsin brand worldwide. I take great pride in representing Wisconsin's shipbuilding industry in Washington because our workers have helped sustain American security for generations, boasting a successful history of building ships for our nation's defense. Now, I also take great pride in having the privilege of making an exciting announcement that some of you have already heard. Next week, Secretary Mabus will officially announce the name of the next LCS, the USS Marinette. You know, he understands what we all know. Marinette has a proud tradition that has earned this distinction. And I am so thrilled that your hard work has been respected and rewarded in this way. It is well deserved. The littoral combat ship, and soon the frigate, plays a critical role in carrying on a tradition, providing the Navy with enhanced capabilities and flexibility at an affordable price. I've been always proud to fight for the LCS precisely because of the program's success, because of all of your success in meeting typical shipbuilding challenges, whether cost, schedule, or design and requirement changes, and continually improving throughout the process. Indeed, the LCS program has upgraded survivability and lethality while seeing overall improved performance, including successful operational deployments, downward cost trends, and timely production schedules. This has added capacity and capability to the Navy fleet, strengthening our national security at a time of ever-increasing mission demands. And that's why I continue our fight to reject any efforts to cut the LCS program, because they truly are the workhorses of our Navy fleet. But for me, this fight is about more than a ship. I'm extremely proud to represent the talented Wisconsin and Michigan workers who build the LCS ships and support the dedicated men and women of the United States military. The LCS is not only essential to America's national security, it is also a critical part of our state's economy. And that is why in my 4 years in the United States Senate, I've worked across party lines and fought for this important defense program, because it employs thousands of hardworking Wisconsinites and positively impacts not just the local economy here, but it has a ripple effect across the state, supporting Wisconsin jobs and nearly 200 Wisconsin companies supplying parts and services to build the LCS at Marinette Marine. One of the great joys I have working for Wisconsin is representing a work ethic that is second to none. From the earliest planning days to successful construction and eventual completion, the Wichita is a testament to the hard work and pride that Wisconsin workers bring to every job they set out to do. And I know that the U.S. Navy and our men and women in uniform, no strangers to hard work and pride, respect and appreciate the Wisconsin work ethic and the ships which embody it. So in this way, our fight for the LCS is really about ensuring that the hard workers of Wisconsin will continue to serve side by side with and in support of the hard workers of the United States Navy. It is in this sense of partnership that we must now, more than ever, unite and work together to advocate for the LCS and to tell its story, to educate policymakers and fellow citizens alike about the program's successes, capabilities, and importance to American and global security. Wherever the future USS Wichita and later the future USS Marinette takes our American flag, she will be a symbol of America's strengths, both the strengths of our workers and the strengths of the United States Navy, boldly serving a nation that we are so blessed to call home. Thank you.
I have 3 fabulous reasons, privileges, pleasures to go with my being a part of this incredible event this morning. I am indeed a proud veteran of the U.S. Naval Service. Having served in the United States Marines as an infantry officer in the 1950s, my father and my only brother were also Marines before me. I am also a son of Wichita, Kansas. Having been born there and lived there for the first 12 and probably most important years of my life. But mostly, I am indeed the proud husband of the sponsor of the USS Wichita, Kate Staples Lara. and I have been her proud husband for 56 years. And it is my supreme pleasure and honor to introduce her to you now as the official sponsor and christener of this great ship named for this great American city. She was already a gentlewoman of letters and of love. Now she is also a gentlewoman of the sea. I give you, with pleasure, the love of my life, Kate Staples Lara.
I am struck by the magnificent coming together of the past and the future and what we are doing right now. The USS Wichita, as we have all heard for ourselves, is a masterpiece of modern shipbuilding and engineering, and it helps the Navy and our national security. It takes us to new levels in warcraft and defense. I am honored to take part in such of the christening in this ceremony, the naming and dedication of this ship, a launch that goes back to the beginnings of sailing ships the world over. It is thrilling to join the designers and builders and engineers and artisans and contractors and crew in the project that is the cutting-edge vessel of the United States Navy and of the world. As we christen and bless this ship for what lies ahead, we do so in the words and meanings for what has gone before. God bless us all. For the United States of America, I christen thee Wichita. May God bless this ship and all who sail on her.
Face.